Good morning, students. Let's start with today's session. In the last class, we have seen different tags, and today we will continue with the same tags and we will try to add certain attributes to it. Then we will start now with the P tag. So, you remember that P tag stands for the paragraph tag, and we are able to add a blank space between the paragraphs. So now here, this is the structure of the HTML document. The basic structure is already ready. I have added just the title. Now in the body section here, I'm going to add the P tag. So you know that P tag stands for the paragraph, and I will write the text inside this. So by default, you know that the text is always left aligned. Now the P tag, inside the P tag, you can add attribute like the align. This align is called as an attribute or is called as the property. So if I need to align this text is by default left aligned. So I can specify the property explicitly again to be left aligned, or I can say to be right aligned or to be center aligned. So now what I will do is I will copy this same line 3 times and paste it here. Now we will try to first have a look at the output here, how the output is going to be for this particular just a P tag with sentence inside it. So this is how the text is going to look. Now what we will do is we will add a property inside this P tag. So now you observe where I'm writing the property or the attribute. I'm specifying it inside my P tag before this closing right angular bracket. Give a space and then we write the property name as align equal to, you need to assign the property for it. Which property do you, the value, the align property should take which value, so that you specify in double quotes. So here first let us say let the value be left. For the second one, we will add the property, the value to be right. And for the third one, we'll add the property align and the value for this to be center aligned. Save this document. Let us go back to our browser and let us refresh this. So now you see the output, the alignment of the text has changed, okay? But then if you have a look here, when I applied this particular property or I applied this attribute, it will be applied only to this particular element or only to this particular one sentence, which is inside this P tag. It is not applied to the other two sentences, right? So when you specify such values and these properties, they will be applied only to that particular element. They are specific. They do not apply to the entire document there. So this is about the align property and its value. The property name or the attribute name is align and the values it takes is left, right and center. Next thing, we'll move to the heading tag. So we have seen examples, the tag examples that range from H1 to H6. So if you can recall, from H1 to H6, we had the heading tags, and each of these heading tags had the respective font size and the boldness was different from H1 to H6. Now have a look at this document. The head section has the title. Inside the body section here, I have taken the H3 tag, which is the heading tag. Then I have written a paragraph and put it inside my P tag. So this is a huge paragraph here, and this is the ending of the P tag. So the body tag ends here. Now, if I have to show you the output of this, So this is how it is going to be displayed on the browser. Now, since this is the title, Gupte College of Commerce is the title. The title needs to be in the center. It has to be applied in the center of this web page. We'll go back to our document. Okay, so this is the title for the web page, and this title is the title for the browser, which is getting displayed on top on the tab. So this I want to be aligned in the center. So we have seen the property now. So here we will write align. And let me specify its value to be center. Let us save this document. Let us go back to our browser and refresh. So now you can see this particular title is getting displayed in the center. Then we have another property here that we can specify. If I want to specify more than one attribute or more than one property, I will give a space. I will write my next property. So the next property is title. The next property is called as title. Give equal to in the double quotes. So I will write in double quotes to be Gupte BCA. Now you observe here, whenever we are specifying the properties or the attributes, they are displayed in a different color and the values are displayed in a different color. So this document is saved. Let us go back. Let us try to refresh this. Now see, if I place my cursor on the title, I am getting this tooltip, this particular Gupte BCA that you are able to see like a small pop-up there, that is called as the tooltip. So you can specify the tooltips like this with the help of this particular title attribute. And inside the title attribute, you can specify any text that you want. So that will add like a small, it is called as a tooltip, and it will add like a small label or a small pop-up there. So this is about the align property and the title property. Then next thing is we have another property that is called as dir. Okay, have a look at this PPT here. We have completed the title attribute. Next is we have the dir attribute. So now by default you place any text on your HTML page, and when you run it on the browser, you will usually see that the text is flowing from the left to right. That is the default value. That is how even we write it in the book. If we have to write some text in the notebook, we start from the left side, from the left margin. Now the default value, when we do not specify anything in our HTML document, that is what it takes. But if you want the text to start from the right end of the browser, you want it to flow from right to left, you have to specify the value to be RTL, and the property name here is dir. Okay, let us see one example. So here in this, just a single line I have taken. Okay, there is not the entire paragraph, just a single line here. Now where do you have to specify this particular property? You will specify here in the HTML tag. It is supposed to be specified in the HTML tag. So here give a space, write the property name, which is dir, equal to, you need to specify its value. So we need the text to flow from right to left. So the property is RTL. So we shall save this. Let us check if this is working. So here you can see the output. The text has started to be displayed from the right end of the browser. So let us try to apply the same property for this page. But since here you can see it is a paragraph, it is covering the entire screen here. The difference is you'll be able to see when we just write a single sentence. So if I had to remove this, if I remove this property, save it, refresh my browser. So this is how by default the text is displayed. Let us see if we can find out the same difference here when we specify it for this paragraph. We shall go back to this page and try to refresh it. So have a look now how the text is getting displayed. So here you can see that the text is not justified. It means the text is flowing in this way from the right end of the browser. So this property dir is by default, it will take the value left to right, and you do not have to specify the default value. If you need to change its alignment, that is when you give the particular value as RTL. R is for right, to left, RTL. Then let us go to the next property, that is about styles. Okay. Now what is this style property? This is also another inline property. Inline in the sense which is applied only to that particular tag or only to that element or only to one text line to which you specified. It will not be again applied to the entire document. If you have 4 different set of paragraphs, to which paragraph you write the style property, only for that it is going to be applied. So let us see some of the properties. Let me first write a heading tag here. So this time I'll take the value to be h1. The property name here is style. Okay. Now I will try to apply a background color for my heading that I'm going to specify. So you have to write equal to, specify in double quotes, the background color. The property name is background color. Have a look here in the comments. This is your property or the attribute name, and observe the syntax. You have a hyphen in between. All the letters are in small case. So we will write here. There is auto prompt here. So you select background color. Now in the double quotes, see, this is my property or the attribute. So for that I have specified I need to apply a background color. Now I also need to tell what background color should be applied. So I need to specify this value for the background color. So you give a colon and then you can specify any color. So if I say the color to be blue, so the value for this background color property, which is a part of the style, will be applied as blue color. Okay, in the double quotes only I'm going to specify this entire property and this particular value. The value here is blue. For that you need to separate it with the help of a colon. Next thing, I need to specify a title here. So let us say the title as Gopte BCA. Then I need to close my tag. So which tag have I opened? I have opened the H1 tag. So close this H1. Save. Let us try to see if the particular background color has been applied. So you can see here, you have got a background only for this particular text. Let us go back to the document. Next thing is, we'll write another sentence. We will try to write it in the paragraph tag. So we'll write the P tag. Let me close and let me first write the sentence here. Let us say, now this is the text that I have applied. Okay, I do not want to apply the background color. I want the text to be displayed in blue color. So I will write the property or the attribute name as style. Put a equal to, in the double quotes, we are supposed to specify the sub property and its respective value there. So the property name is color. Now you are supposed to give colon and then specify its value. Let us save this, go back to our document, refresh. So you are able to get the output here. I am blue text. Now I want you to tell me that I need to get this, since this is the heading, Gupte BCA, I want it to come in the center. So what changes can I do here in the document?
Align equal to center into the H1 tag.
In the H1 tag. So I'll write align. You're again supposed to end the double quotes. Should we give colon, semicolon, space? Let us check if this is working. If this particular, I've just given space, okay? I've not specified semicolon or a comma here. Let us go back to the document. So it is applied. So we've got the text in the center. Let us go back again here. Let us write another sentence. This time we will try to apply the text color again, and we will see a different property. That is to increase the font size, that is, or increase or decrease in the sense you give it to a specific text size there. So let me say the same thing. I'll say color, and this time I'll specify the value as red. Okay, let me close this. See, I had not ended the p tag properly there. You could not see the difference because only one text we had. Okay, so it was executing properly. If I had multiple lines and then I would have not closed this, no, then the error would be visible. I had not closed the p tag here. Then here, now let us see, I need to add another property here. I said I want to apply the font size. So I have specified the color to be red. I am not making use of this property, but now I will make use of the property which is present within the style itself. So now what I will do is, inside this double quotes only, I am going to specify another property. Let me give a space first. The property name is font size. You can have a look here. I have written the property name as font size. So we will write here font size, font hyphen size. So I need to specify again the value. So give a colon here. So we are going to specify the value now in terms of pixels. You can also specify it in terms of percentage. So currently now we will just stick to the pixel here. So I will write 50 pixels. PX stands for pixels. Now let us see if this particular code is working. Again, observe here, I have just given a space. There is no comma, there is no semicolon. Save this. See, you got the output. Okay. But observe here, the text is there. It is not in red color. Font size also is looking same as to this particular above sentence only. Right? Let us go back now. So I will try to give here a semicolon. Save this again. Go back. Now you observe the output. The text size has increased. Also, you are able to see the color change here. So now what is the difference here? Here I did not give a comma, or I mean a semicolon, but here I have given a semicolon. Let me remove this semicolon and try it with a comma. Save this again. So again, the effect is not applied here. So what am I doing here? I'm separating multiple, I'm trying to write multiple properties within the double quotes. All these properties, this is one property color, this is another property font size. These are two properties within the single double quotes, right? So they are separated by semicolon. And these all belong to this particular group called as style. They belong to the style attribute. They are all a part of the style attribute. But here I did not give a semicolon because align is a different property. It does not belong to the style group. So if you are writing sub-properties of this particular style group, you will have to separate it by semicolon. So you can continue here. Again, if I write a semicolon, and I can also write as text align. Okay, I will write semicolon. I will write another property as text hyphen align. So this text align is different from this align. This is a sub property of this which belongs to the style group. So here I need to again specify its value. So this time let me say I'll try to write center. Let us see if the effect is applied. I'll save. Go back here. See, so the effect is applied again. You're getting the text in red color with 50 pixel size and it is also center aligned to this page. So you need to understand that if you are specifying the properties which belong to the style group, you all write it in all the properties, n number of properties separated by semicolons in the single double quotes. Next thing is background color is done, font size is done. You can also specify a font family. Font family is you usually write, you choose which style you want. So we'll try to write it for this text here. So I need to give a semicolon. Let me write the font family attribute. Let me choose. Let me see if there are auto suggestions here. So let me write for, I hope there is a font of this particular name called as Arial. We'll save this. You can also write Times New Roman, the most common. We'll go back. See, the default one is always Times New Roman here. We'll refresh this. Observe here, this has changed. The way the text style was displayed is now changed. Anyone else can suggest me some different font families, if you can remember? I've changed the font family here. Let us go back and refresh this again. See, observe the text is changed again, the way the style is displayed here. So this is, okay, one input I have here for the font family. Let us see if this works. Sonam is suggesting me for this particular font family, that is Algerian. We'll save, go back. Yes, so now you can see the effect again. So these are some of the properties, inline properties. Inline in the sense they are applying only for this particular text or this particular sentence that you have written within these two tags. Will not be applied to all the other tags or you say all the other text that are visible in your document. So this is about the different tags. We will see the next tags. Few of them are there on this slide, and as and how we proceed with the examples, we'll move ahead with the remaining tags. So have a look at the slide. The first tag for today that we will have a look at is the block quote tag. Okay, so this tag is usually used with its attribute, or optionally you can also skip its attribute. What is the use of this tag is whenever you want to display certain text which is present from another website or which is present from another source, you have copy pasted it and you want to mention the URL. So you can mention its URL value in this site attribute. The attribute for this block quote tag is called as site, and the value that it takes is the URL. Now the text that we write in this block quote tag will usually be indented from the left side. This is a block quote tag. So with the examples, it will be more clear. Have a look at the next one also, which is the HR tag, which is the horizontal rule. So it will give you a small line, a thin line between the different paragraphs, or if you have images or text, wherever you want a division and you want a line to be displayed. So you can make of the HR, that is horizontal rule tag. Then if you have used MS Word, you must be aware of bold, italics, underline. So these tags are there. For bold is to make the text bold. For that we have the B tag. Then for italics, we have the small case I to display the text in italics. To display the text, the particular text with underline, you can make use of the U tag. Let us have a look at the next one as well. Then here you have the first one as strike text. So strike tag is used to strike out the text that you have written. So you will get a thin line drawn over your text. Okay. Then you have mono spaced font, and the tag name here is TT in small case. This is the tag name. So what this monospaced tag or TT is going to do is, usually whenever any font, the default font also whenever which is displayed, there each of the letters have different widths. If you observe here, each of these will have a different width. But when we make use of this TT tag and we write a text inside it, the letters all will have the same width. Then have a look at the subscript and the superscript tag. So you know that whenever we want to write any chemical formulas, or especially if you want to write the date, if you write today is 3rd of June, RD, that is 3 RD raised to RD, that RD value is going to be in the superscript form, or the exponent you can say. Whenever you want to raise 2 raised to 2 or 2 raised to 3, if you want to have a raised to value, you can make use of the superscript tag. And this is the tag here, SUP. Similarly, the subscript, if you want to have certain characters which are below, like the chemical formula for water, or you have to write for sulfuric acid H2SO4, the 2 and 4 are going to be little below the normal text. So for that, we'll make use of the subscript tag. So let's quickly move ahead with the examples now. Let us edit here itself. I'll remove this. Now, one by one, let us have a look at the different tags. I have written here in the comments so that we do not miss out. So let's first write a simple sentence, and we will write it in the P tag. So I have to open the P tag and write the sentence here. Now let us apply the bold font. Let us apply it for the word BCA. So inside this P tag, I'm going to apply the bold font only for the word BCA. So before the word BCA, I will open my B tag, and I want it to end after BCA. So again, after this word, I'm going to end my B tag. So you observe here, inside the P tag, we are having the B tag here. And you should be sure to follow this particular opening and closing tags. So if you have to close, if you have opened the B tag here and if you try to close it here, it is not going to be appropriate, because observe the nesting here. You have opened the B tag inside the P tag. So you also need to close it inside this closing P tag only. Just like for other programming languages, you have brackets and you need to match those parentheses. So same nesting you will have to follow here. So I have written the B tag. Now let me apply italics. Let me also make BCA in italics here itself. So here only, let me write I tag. So I have closed it. Then we have underlined. Let me apply it for this word Gopte. We will apply it for this entire Gupte College of Commerce. We'll underline it. Then, okay, let us first have a look how the output is. Let us save this. So you can see here, these where the U tag is present, those words are underlined. For the word BCA, we had applied bold and italics. So you can see the effect is there. Let us now go back to the example. Let us move ahead with this strike tag. So let me apply the strike for this word commerce here. We'll save it. Let's go back to the browser. So have a look here again. The word commerce. On top of the word commerce, you can see a thin line which is striked. So that is the effect of the strike tag. Then what is TT tag? Do you remember from the PPT what does TT tag stand for? Have a look at the slide here. Have a look at this monospaced font. It is written in monospaced font, right? So let us see what is going to be the effect of this TT tag. We'll try to apply it for the word department. Save it, go back to the browser and refresh. So observe the word department now. All of these individual letters will have the same width. So if you observe the other text here, if you observe it properly, you will feel that probably the width of O is a little more than that of L or is a little more than that of E. That is how usually the font styles will be written. But when we apply the TT or the monospaced tag, this is how the text is going to appear. Then let us try the next two, subscript and the superscript tags. So let me write it in the P tag. So let us try to write today's date. Now today is 3rd, okay, this is how we write. So I need this R and D to be raised to the power of 3, right? So only these two letters need the effect of that subscript. So before R, I'm going to open my, not subscript, the superscript tag. I'm going to close it after the letter D. Let us try to save this. Let us go back and try to run. So you can see here R and D are a little above the letter, the normal letters or the normal line. So this is the effect of the superscript tag. Let us apply the subscript now. So what is the chemical formula for water?
H2O.
Okay, write H2. Now where do I need to apply my subscript tag? For which particular letter here?
2.
For 2. So I will say sub, the tag name, and close it here. We'll save this. So you see chemical water for formula here, the 2 is subscripted. Now what I want is this particular letter, the number 2, I want it to be displayed in different color. So which attribute are we going to use? I need it to be displayed with a different color. Prashant?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what tag should we use if I need to display my letter in a different, this to be displayed in a different color? Yes, Sonam, you're correct. We have studied a property which is style, right? Now, what attribute should this style tag take?
Color attribute.
Color attribute. You need to specify it in double quotes. Right color. The text color, okay? I'm talking about text color, not the background color. Let me say the color as red here. Let us save this. See, observe the color, the text color of this numeric 2 has changed to red color. So you apply this style tag with different attributes. This style tag is now applied to this sub tag. So you should try to now use all these tags and check where all they can be used, where all they can be nested. So we have covered up till here. Let us go back to our slide. Observe all these points here, go through them, and we will try to again apply it in our example. You have different ways in which you can make your text appear, right? So most commonly in MS Word also we see that we try to make it bold, we try to have underline, italics. Apart from this, we have these some of the more effects that we can apply. We have larger text to display a particular text a little more bigger than the normal font size that your browser is taking. So for that you have the big tag. Then the opposite of this, to make a particular content to appear a little smaller than the font size, you have the small tag. Then you have emphasize tag. The tag name is EM. So this will give the effect of a little boldness and a little more font weight. Then you have mark tag. This is like where you try to make use of a highlighter and the ink will be displayed in yellow. No, that when you try to underline with the highlighter or mark the text with the highlighter, you have a yellow color background. So that is going to appear with the mark tag. And then you have the strong tag. So let us check these with the help of example here. So for which word should I apply the big tag? Let me say we will apply it for the word welcome. So where do I need to write it? Before the P tag or after the P tag?
After P tag.
So we will write here only for this one word, and let me end it here. See here, the word welcome. You can see it is a little more bigger than the rest of the text here in this sentence. Let us apply the small tag for the word class. Then we have EM tag. We'll apply it to the class 6B. Then you have mark. Okay. So first let us save this. Let us see the effect of this. Then I'll apply the word this tag mark for 6B itself. Let us go back to the browser. Refresh. See, the word class has shrinked a little, the font size. This is, which tag did I apply for 6b? EM tag. So observe the effect here. What can you see? What can you make out from the output? It has the effect of a little italics. Now I will apply the mark tag for this 6b only. Okay. I've saved it. We'll come back and refresh. So you see you have got a yellow background, or it is like the highlighting that you normally do with the help of a marker, the highlighter, to mark something, some important notes. So that effect you will get with the help of the mark text. Then we are left with strong. So let us apply that to these last two words. So observe the last two letters when the strong tag is applied, the font weight, the thickness has increased. Also they are displayed like they are in bold. So these are the different tags that we can make use to get various effects in your web pages, in your web document.